Called order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance using the flag up in the front of the room. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Here.
Vice Mayor DeVille.
Here.
Mayor Jacobs.
Here.
We have quorum.
All right. Since it wasn't in order, we'll say the time is now 7:09 p.m. Wednesday, March 8th, 2023. Any additions, deletions, or withdrawals to the agenda?
Yes, sir. We need to remove from the consent agenda item number 7.6. And we have two resolutions that are accompanying that item. So we just need to move it down, please. If we could move it down to 8, which is resolutions. So it would be 8.1 and 8.2.
Okay, hold on. 8.1, 8.2. That'll be item number 7.6.
Yes, sir.
And let's see here. 7.2 also we need to remove and make a line item.
Okay.
And we'll call that 8. Wait.
New business.
Yeah, we'll do 8.3 on that one.
Okay.
7.2 to 8.3.
If we could please move it to, hold on one second. If we could move it to 10.2.
Oh, 10.2. 10.2 is what I meant to say.
Thank you.
10.2. That's fine.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the agenda as stated. Second.
Roll call.
Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, 5.1, presentations and proclamations. We'll start with 5.1, Distinguished Service Award honoring Christopher Williams. Can I have you please come forward? And Chief Howard, can I also have you please come forward? All right. Can you hear me on this one?
Yes.
All right. As you guys are aware, we started our first police department back on October 1st. It's the first police department in Pembroke Park since 1980, since we've been part of the Sheriff's Department. Mr. Christopher Williams here, it will be the first recipient of a Distinguished Service Award by the Town of Pembroke Park Police Department. I'm going to read it to you. Christopher R. Williams, on February 11th, 2023, Mr. Christopher Williams observes a child being forced into an apartment by an older male. Thinking this was odd, Williams thought, without regard for his own safety, approached the struggling young male and engaged the subject in confrontation as he continued to force the child into the home. Once inside, the subject removed a handgun from atop a shelf. Again, without regard for his own safety, Mr. Williams continued talking to the subject and simultaneously grabbing the handgun and held it with the subject. Williams then offered the child to leave and ordered Mr. Williams ordered the child to leave and was able to escape the apartment. Williams then exited the apartment and brief arriving after law enforcement. Williams displayed incredible courage and interviewed it is the way this is written, it's extremely hard to read. Intervene, thank you, in a dangerous situation and ensured a positive outcome and the safety of a child. Mr. Williams is an example of the residents of Pembroke Park and what they could do for one another, helping one another. We built this police department on a community-based policing platform. It takes the community to also help with the police department to make it what it is today. I'm honored and grateful to give you this award.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'd like to get a picture with you.
Yes,
Please.
Mayor, definitely.
And are you okay with me posting it on our social media?
Of course.
All right. Come on. I'm going to ask. On the other side. Come on the other side. Thank you for what you did for us.
It's no problem. I would do it again if I have to.
Hope you don't have to.
I hope not either.
Yeah, we all hope you don't. Thank you.
I appreciate the story, man.
You're on that.
Appreciate you guys. Means a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Don't go anywhere, Chief. Thank you again.
Yes, Mayor.
Yeah, this one's actually in black and white. It is easier to read. Okay, come on up. Tonight, we not only have one, but we have two. Come stand here in the middle. You have to pronounce your last name again. Palushaj. Okay. Distinguished Service Award, the second one for the town of Pembroke Park. Distinguished Service Award goes to Katarina Palushaj. On February 11, 2023, Miss Katarina Palushaj did not see her customer in a restaurant. Knowing her customer is 95 years of age and lives alone, she contacted the police and requested a welfare check. Officers responded, and after several minutes, they knew the man was inside and unable to respond. Officers forced entry and found the elderly man had fallen backwards into his tub. He was unable to stand. The man was dehydrated, very confused, and it appeared he had been in the position for more than 24 hours. The quick thinking and caring and life-saving actions displayed by Miss Palushaj single-handedly saved this man's life. As a result, he will be cared for by family and no longer have to live by himself. Again, on behalf of the town of Pembroke Park, I thank you dearly for being here. And I'm going to give a plug real quick for her.
Yeah.
She's the owner of the Hollywood Donut Factory, which everyone in South Broward attends all the time. But this is the owner, and she cares about her customers enough to save their lives. So I appreciate that. And see, that wasn't so bad. Thank you. This is what happens with community policing, and seeing how positive things are going for our new department. I'm really happy to give out those two awards. Unfortunately, not happy about the situations, but the fact we had residents that stepped up to help people out, that's what it's all about. So thank you. Now we have a proclamation. National Women's History Month. You guys are going to get so tired of me reading by the end of the day here. National Women's History Month, March of 2023. Whereas Women's History celebrates the overlooked contributions of women in history, society, and culture. March is selected as the month for observing Women's History Month and to correspond with International Women's Day on March 8th, which happens to be today. Whereas all month long, commemoration started with Women's History Day back in 1978. Organized by the school districts in Sonoma, California, hundreds of students participated in an essay competition. Many presentations were given, and a parade was held in Santa Rosa. The idea caught on, and a few years later, school districts, communities, and organizations all over the country were celebrating the day. Whereas in 1980, the National Women's History Alliance championed for the holiday to be observed as a national week. This was backed by President Jimmy Carter, who issued the first proclamation declaring the week of March 8th as National Women's History Week. The following year, Congress forwarded a resolution establishing national observance. 6 years later, this expansion of the event to the whole month of March was successfully petitioned by the National Women's History Project. In 1920, women win the right to vote. Women are granted the right to vote thanks to the 19th Amendment. And in 1981, women's place in the court, Sandra Day O'Connor, is the first woman appointed to the United States Supreme Court. In 1983, women go to infinity and beyond as Sally Ride becomes the first woman in space. In 2016, Hillary Rodham Clinton is the first woman to be nominated for president by a major political party. Now, therefore, we, Mayor Jeffrey Jacobs, Vice Mayor Renaud DeVille, and Clerk Commissioner William Hodgkins, by virtue of the authority vested in the town of Pembroke Park, do hereby proclaim the month of March as National Women's Heritage Month. All right. Did you mean to have these other two in here as well?
I'm sorry.
Did you mean to have these other two in here as well?
I gave them to you in black and white, just in case.
No. There's two extras
Yes,
that you.
because I'm redoing one that it just got dirty and I wanted
Okay.
to fix it. That's
No problem. All right, another proclamation from the town of Pembroke Park. This is Irish Heritage History Month 2023. Whereas the town of Pembroke Park recognizes the month of March as Irish History Month, and whereas the first recorded celebration of Irish Americans in the United States dates back to 1762 with the first St. Patrick's Day Parade in New York City. The parade became an annual event which was initially organized by military units. After the War of 1812, Irish societies took over the parade and organization. Whereas it seemed a natural to choose March, St. Patrick's Day falls on March 17th for the month-long recognition of the contributions of the Irish immigrants and their descendants have made for U.S. society. Virtually every realm of American endeavor, from steelwork to biotechnology to literature, has seen improvement through the Irish descendant hands and minds. Whereas what is less talked about is the anti-immigrant sentiment that was often faced by the new Irish Americans, largely as a result of their Catholicism, which clashed with the predominantly Protestant backgrounds and the majority of the families whose members had, along with the original colonists. Irish Americans faced bitter competition, even slanted legislation in their search for jobs and a place to call home. Whereas the month we recognize not only for overcoming of those obstacles by Irish Americans, but also the incredible and deep depth of their contributions to American society, from the Union's edge over the Confederacy to the Civil War and to the intellectual contributions. We have kept our country on the top tiers of accomplishment. Now, therefore, Mayor Jeffrey Jacobs, Vice Mayor Renaud DeVille, and Clerk Commissioner William Hodgkins, by the virtue of authority vested into the town of Pembroke Park, do hereby proclaim the month of March as Irish American History Month. You guys don't have to hear me do that anymore. Moving on, we'll go to public comment. This is related to the agenda items, good and welfare. Each person is limited to 3 minutes for their time to speak. And if you would like to call the first person forward.
The first person is Deborah Bina.
Welcome, Deborah. If you could introduce yourself.
My name is Deborah Feeney.
Uh-huh.
We have a home on 5501 Southwest 34th Street.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? 5501?
501
Uh-huh.
Southwest 34th Street. Back in whenever we were getting out of the pandemic, the code enforcement officer came over to my home, and I knew we had been slacking. The whole country was shut down. By the time she came, the house was painted, the eaves were done, everything. We had 3 little things. Couldn't afford a roof. I can't afford $50,000. And all this stuff that you hear out there, oh, the government gives you a free roof. No, they don't. They don't give you no free roof, no windows, no nothing. I started at 8 violation, and by the time I came in front of this board, I was still at 8 violations. And then she calls me up and says, you're going to have to pull a permit to do this and that. Hell no, I'm not. If I didn't get no credit for all the stuff that was done, why am I going to bother with the rest of it? And now you're foreclosing on my property, and you're going to throw my husband and I out in the street like a bunch of common dogs? No! It's not happening. It's not happening. This is the only home we have.
Can I see
And I want to show you the condition of those apartments over there. There's a water heater. Water keeps on coming. Open lines. And you have the nerve to come and find me for vines and trees. She comes over to my house and says, oh, you're going to have to pick up all the little pine twigs in the side of my yard? Come on. Am I angry? Hell yeah, I am. You take a look at those pictures and you tell me if this is fine. And I showed her the conditions. She didn't walk through nothing. You have slides of the house missing. You're about ready to go into the lake. People are paying rent to the tune of $1,500 to $2,000 to live in those deplorable conditions. Tell me why. And that water heater works. You can go check it out, and it's right across my street. I showed it to someone from Florida Paradise. You know what he told me? With all that water pouring in there, and it goes out to the street, it's about the equivalent of a power line falling into the water. So I want to know answer, and she knew. The code enforcement knew the condition. It's still like this today because I just took those pictures. Do you see anything wrong with it? Because I do. I live in this town. I don't know where the rest of you live, and I really don't care. I know she lives in Miami Lakes, from what I hear. So she don't care, but I live here. And being that you guys decided you want to start a war, or actually a fight, start a war, show this in front of a judge and show what the violations were. And I have proof. The painting of the house and everything else started June 22nd and was finished by July 9th. She came in September, way before. Everything was done. But she came in and she said, well, I see you painted the house, but the color, we have free paint. I don't want your free paint. I used it one time. It's crap. You put it on, it washes off, you have to repaint it again. Do you think at my age I want to paint the house every 5 months?
Okay, ma'am, your 3 minutes is up.
Fine.
I understand what you're saying.
Pictures back.
Okay, hold on to those. Just let him finish going through them, and then he'll give them back to you. We're all residents of Pembroke Park. We all live in this community. All 3 of us do. We live here too. So I understand your frustrations. We have a code enforcement. We have a building code that's held to. That is not us that holds it to it. It's the state. The building code, just hear me out. You have to go through the building department when it comes to these violations. That's why we have the special magistrate and everything else.
What violations? For painting in a house, I needed a permit to paint my own house these days?
Yes, unfortunately, I had to pull a permit to paint my house as well. It's a no-fee permit. It is a no-fee permit. You just have to go in and fill it out.
I'm not
That's
painting
it.
it again.
Okay. Well,
It's very simple.
Just explaining to you.
This house. No, she never told me I needed a permit. She told me I need to pick up crappy paint from your town. And I'm not doing it. Where's my envelope? Please.
Okay, please take the time. The town manager's right behind here.
For what reason?
You can meet with him and speak with him, the building department, and the special magistrate. They're the ones that handle all of that.
Last time, whenever she called me, she says, well, it's like the property on 5521. They can't seem to pass a permit. They do something, they whip it out. You know what she is? She's a black-hearted, nasty person.
Okay.
Who am I supposed to talk to?
All right, next person.
The next person is M. Kareem.
Yes, thank.
Can you lift the microphone up so we could hear you okay?
Is it on?
Yes.
Thank you.
My name is Attorney Matthew Kareem. I represent Mr. Anderson. Like also on my left is Mr. Sparks.
If you could just play state for the record your name and your address, please.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
My name is Attorney Matthew Kareem. The address is 2500 North Federal Highway, Suite 100, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33305. So I'm here on agenda item 7.1. As I mentioned, I represent Mr. Anderson, who's the owner of B&E Recycling, which has been A&B Recycling, which has been a business in this community for well over 20 years. Currently, right now, the city is accepting bids for the demolition of that property. I'm here today for two reasons: to help save my client's business and to help save Pembroke Parks some money. So my client has hired an engineer and a contractor who I believe have already attempted to pull a permit for the demolition to remediate any and all issues that Pembroke Park and their building department has. All I'm here today is to ask the esteemed commission, the mayor, vice mayor, Madam Clerk, and Madam Secretary to please defer taking a bid and just allow my client, who's willing to pay out of his own pocket to save Pembroke Park some money, to save his business and to get the work done that's required. That's essentially what we're here for. I'm very impressed with Pembroke Park. Those distinguished awards that you gave really shows the compassion and that your citizenry has. So I really appreciate the opportunity to speak, and thank you, Counselor, very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right. Is there anyone else?
We do not have any more speakers.
All right. Mr. Roach? Sure? Okay. All right. We'll move to number 7, the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
I will second.
Any discussion?
No.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Item number 8, resolutions. 8.1. In front of me, but Town Attorney, can you
I can. Thank you, Mayor and Commissioner.
read it by title?
Good evening. And for the record, the item is Resolution 2023-002. It is a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, authorizing the town to make and enter into the 2023 amendment to the Interlocal Agreement with Broward County, Florida, providing for the division and distribution of the proceeds from the Broward County additional local option gas tax on motor fuel ordinance, authorizing the mayor to execute and deliver said 2023 amendment for and on behalf of the Town of Pembroke Park, providing for severability, superseding conflicting resolutions, and providing for an effective date. And for the record, Mayor and Commission, this item relates to the 0.05 cent gas tax.
Questions?
No.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve resolution 2023-002.
Second.
Discussion.
No.
The only thing I'd like to point out is that we have not raised this this tax is in the,
That's and just for the record, Mayor Commission, this
Yeah.
item is set by Broward County.
Right.
The county's adopted an ordinance pursuant to state statute which allows the imposition of this additional sales tax, which is divided among all cities in Broward County based on population.
perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes.
8.2, Town Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. And this item is a companion to item 8.1. This is for the 3-cent gas tax. It's resolution 2023-003, a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, authorizing the town to make and enter into the 2023 amendment to the Interlocal Agreement with Broward County, Florida, providing for a division and distribution of the proceeds for Broward County additional local option gas tax on motor fuel ordinance, authorizing the mayor to execute and deliver the said 2023 amendment for and on behalf of the Town of Pembroke Park, providing for severability, superseding conflicting resolutions, and providing for an effective date.
Questions?
None.
No.
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to pass resolution number 2023-003.
Second.
All right. And discussion again hasn't changed in,
Correct. Again, Mayor, this item is set by Broward County based on a state statute. The county's adopted an ordinance to establish an additional 3-cent gas tax, which is divided among all the participating municipalities in the county based on population.
all right. Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Vice Mayor DeVille. Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right.
Just so you know, Mayor, the next item, the 9.1, is the same presentation you've heard in the past. It's just put on there for informational purposes. So-
Michael V.
And then we have the actual ordinances for second read.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Good evening,
Again.
Mayor, Commissioners, Mike Bonner-Mullen with Keith. As the clerk had mentioned, we can go ahead and forego the presentation. I think you've seen it a few times with the workshops and
We have.
first reading. And we'll just go on to
All right. We'll move to 9.2.
Thank you. If I may-
20, oh, hold on. Let me get through the title and then I'll have you read it. 22 CP03, Land Use Amendment, LUPA, Planning Consultant Voldemir, Ordinance Number 2023-001. Town Attorney, can you read this by title?
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. The item is an ordinance of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, adopting an amendment to the town's future land use map for approximately 16.56 acres of real property generally located along Southwest 30th Avenue, as more particularly described in Exhibit A, attached here to is incorporated herein. It's referenced as the property. Amending the property's land use from industrial to commercial, directing the town clerk to provide certified copies of this ordinance and the proposed land use plan amendment to the appropriate parties, requesting Broward County to amend its land use and authorize Broward County Planning Council to transmit a copy of the amendment to the State of Florida Department of Economic Opportunity on behalf of the town, as well as any other interested governmental entities, providing for conflicts, severability, providing for an effective date, and Mayor, for the record, this is a public hearing.
All right. I will open this for public comment. He says no. All right. I will close discussion. All right. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 2023-002.
Public comment.
I did. And close. There was none.
So sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead, Ray.
To approve 2023-002. Wait, is that the right one?
01.
01.
Yes,
01.
that's 001.
I'll second.
Discussion.
No.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. 9.3. 22 ZR01 Text Amendment Application MXE District Planning Consultant Voldemir, Ordinance Number 2023-002. Town Attorney, can you read by title?
Thank you, Mayor. For the record, the item is an ordinance of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, amending Chapter 28 entitled Zoning, creating Division 5.8 to be entitled the MXE, that's the Mixed Use Entertainment District, providing regulations for the Mixed Use Entertainment District, providing for definitions, providing for an intent and purpose, providing for permitted uses and specific uses, permitted uses and specific use regulations, providing for height restrictions, providing for floor area regulations, providing for setbacks, providing for parking, providing for geographic area, providing for development standards, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, severability, and providing for an effective date. And again, Mayor, this item is a public hearing.
All right. Any comments from the public? We'll open it up for public hearing. Our public says no. No public comment. We'll close public comment. Any discussion from the commission?
No.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 2023-002.
Second?
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. 9.4, 22 ZR04, rezoning B1 and M1 to MXE, planning consultant Vondermeer, ordinance number 2023-003. Town attorney?
Thank you, Mayor. This is the final public hearing of the evening. The item is an ordinance of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, relating to Chapter 28 entitled Zoning, providing for the rezoning of the approximately 16.56 acres of real property generally located along Southwest 30th Avenue in Pembroke Park, Florida, as more particularly described in Exhibit A, attached here to it, incorporated herein, from the present zoning classification of B1, that's a business district, to M1, which is an industrial district, to MXE, that's the new mixed-use entertainment district, providing for an amendment to the town's official zoning map, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
All right. We'll open for public comment. My public, come on forward.
Just like I mentioned before,
Introduce yourself first.
David Roach from Dale Village. Town manager, have we heard anything from the state about this redoing as far as I-95?
Yeah,
Whether it's
the
going to affect, this whole issue?
the plans that they are now working on do not affect any of the properties there.
That was my only question. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Close for public comment. Discussion.
None.
None.
Roll call. I'm sorry. I'll entertain a motion. I jumped ahead of myself.
To approve ordinance 2023-003.
Second?
And discussion. So I do have something to say. I'm glad we finally got this done. It's taken a long time, and I'm really happy to see it. Thank you for all your hard work on this. All right. Anyone else? Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. New business 10.1, copier purchase for accreditation efforts. Our accreditation grant covers the copier. Police Chief Howard.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor. Yeah, that's correct. We received a grant for $105,000, and part of the grant was to purchase this high-speed copier so we could get our efforts underway.
All right. And has this gone through proper procurement for the town attorney?
Yes, sir. During our agenda review process.
Yep. All right. Any questions?
No.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve 10.1 copier purchase.
Second?
Discussion?
None.
Roll call.
Motion made by Vice Mayor DeVille, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Mayor Jacobs?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Back to item number 7.2. This is the cell phone policy issued by the town for cell phone usage. I had one concern that I addressed with the attorneys. Oh, just lost the whole page. I addressed with the attorneys earlier regarding the sentence. Oh, here, I might have it here. Regarding the sentence around the social media app of TikTok being used on the town phones. The federal government, as of right now, is the only one who's banned this platform. I am not one to infringe on anyone's rights, and I think by the town stepping ahead of even what the state is doing would be inappropriate at this time. So my recommendation would be to pull out that one section of the policy, but continue with the policy as it's written, just removing, I have it here.
It's an F.
Yeah, F, that's what it is. Item number F. And that would be just removing that section out, but continuing with the policy as it's written.
Mayor, are you recommending striking the entire section or just the first sentence?
Just striking out the other, just striking out the use of TikTok is prohibited on town issued devices, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and other social media devices to be used for town business purpose only. Leave the remainder, just the one sentence, the first sentence of it.
Add TikTok to the other social media platforms in the second sentence?
That sounds perfect. Any questions on that?
No.
Just the sentence I'm having pulled out is TikTok prohibited. It falls under for town business purposes only.
Okay.
So
All right.
entertain a motion to approve 7.2.
I'll make a motion to approve 7.2, cell phone.
Second.
Discussion.
None.
Roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Clerk Commissioner DeVille. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins,
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille,
Yes.
Mayor Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Old business.
That was a 10.2.
Yeah, as it was 7.2. That we moved to 10.2. Anything for discussion? Do you have anything?
No, I don't have anything. Thank you.
I do have a discussion. HR, you come up. Just want to know where we're at on staffing and fulfilling the positions that we currently have open.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Babette Friedman, Human Resources Director. I'll start with the Code Officer position. We have interviews scheduled tomorrow and the Code Officer and possibly the BTR position. Next week, we have scheduled maintenance worker position interviews for the roads and streets. We're still reviewing the stormwater and sewer positions. The Public Services Director, I've sent the current applicants to JC for review. We're going to review those and do initial interviews before we submit them to you all.
Okay, and for that there, for the Public Works Director, where are you going for, where's this listed at everywhere?
It's posted on Florida League of Cities, government jobs, on our website, LinkedIn, Indeed, the association websites for engineering, for the Public Works Association. I have a consultant for government HR, so at least 8 sites that it's on.
And just curious how many we have on that list there that are qualified.
Qualified, about 5.
And how many do we get total?
I don't know that number, but I can get it to you, but I would say maybe around 12.
Okay, 5 and 12. But 5 for sure are qualified, hit the qualifications for that position?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's all I had for HR. Anyone have any questions?
No.
All right. Move on to 13, Town Attorney Reports.
I do have one quick item, Mayor, Commission.
Sure.
As the Commission may be aware, effective January 1st of this year, there was a constitutional amendment in Florida that took effect with regards to lobbying by elected officials. There's a prohibition, as we know, on elected officials lobbying at any level of government, whether it's the local, state, or federal level. The amendment also extends that prohibition to elected officials lobbying the agency they represent within 6 years of leaving office. There's been some federal lawsuit challenging the constitutional amendment. Last week, a federal judge issued an injunction staying the enforcement of the lobbying prohibition while elected officials are in office. So there's currently no enforcement of that limitation, at least through the trial, which is scheduled for August.
Okay.
Just want to make the Commission aware we are monitoring that lawsuit, and we'll update the Commission further as necessary. But that's all I had, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. I just want to, I got a question for you. Just want to make sure we're making progress on the sewer system we have, the sewer problem we have here in the town.
Short answer is yes.
Okay.
You and I spoke about that earlier in the week.
Yes.
We had some conversations.
I just wanted my,
Yeah. Last week, had a conversation with Mr. Nunez, along with the town manager, who provided us with all of the operative documents with regards to the various mobile home communities. We're in the process of reviewing all of those documents and getting our arms around that issue. To make a long story short, the answer is yes. So we're currently reviewing that, and we'll be presenting some options very shortly.
Thank you. Any questions for the town attorney?
No.
All right. Town manager.
Just one update. It was an item that Vice Mayor brought up, Vice Mayor DeVille brought up at the last meeting regarding the asphalt job over here. Long story short, Miguel had confirmed that he went out there, looked at the contract. It was not completed, and so I know we're working to get them to come back and finish that job.
Mayor, Mayor, Commissioner, Miguel Nunez, building official, interim public works director. Yes, we met with the contractor and the work is not complete 100%. They need to put the thermoplastics on the roads and so on like that. In addition, there were some areas that was not completed. Some parts were added as part of the contract, or some parts were not added to the contract. I requested the contractor to provide us a price using the Broward County price agreement that we have, so we can finish the rest of the streets that they were not completed at a particular time, that it was not in the contract. That way the whole area is remilled.
Okay.
Like you just said, town manager.
Okay.
So it's just an additional cost.
That will be, yes, unfortunately, that's gonna be an additional cost.
All right. And while you're up here, I got another question for the both of you. Where are we at on the sinkhole? It's getting real bad out there.
Yes.
Go
ahead. No, go ahead, sir.
The issue that they're having, and we remember we have it through an engineering firm. They're looking for bidders, and they just haven't been able to get. Nobody wants to do the job. So I think we have one proposal that looks promising, and we're vetting it and making sure that we can at least get good product out of it.
I met with the engineer and saw the design on how to their permanent solution to fix it. It looks pretty legit to fix this problem, but
The problem is finding the contractor to do it.
okay.
And that's what we're.
That is correct. We had originally a second bidder into that, like the manager just outlined, but unfortunately he was not 100% complete into the quote. It was missing some information. Some of the information that they have was to work only 6 inches when he was supposed to go 3 feet instead of 6 feet
Right.
down. And I see the sinkhole growing all the time. With your permission and with the town manager permission, if for whatever reason, because I wanted to maintain the procurement process, if for whatever reason for the next workshop, I don't see any other reasonable quote for that particular job, I'm gonna have to bring that one just as an emergency action to get your approval so we can solve the problem. I know it's gonna be a hefty bill. It's close to $70,000, so I wanna make sure that the town pays what they're supposed to be paid.
Well, after driving it over the last couple weeks, I can tell you I'm watching it still continue to sink, and it's getting into an emergency situation.
It's getting so much worse.
Yeah,
It is very, very bad. So slowed traffic down though, but it's not the right way.
Yeah, but with your permission, then if that's the only one that we have, I'm gonna bring it to the commission, and obviously it just mattered to issue that one contractor.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And where are we at with the economic development? I haven't heard from him to set up an appointment.
No, he had, I guess, has a new job.
Okay.
So that's final. I was just thinking about bringing the final report to the commission and getting it approved.
That works.
All right.
What about the other one? Have we got a final draft on our final copy?
Sent that out.
Okay, I must have missed it in my email.
I sent that out, I don't know, last month.
Okay. Can you send me another copy of that?
Sure.
Thanks. So I have anything for the manager?
No.
All right. Commissioner reports. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
No, I don't have anything.
All right. Vice Mayor DeVille.
I don't have anything either.
All right. I have a couple things. Mayor Jacobs, that's me. All right. One, the payroll for the police department. How are we doing? Okay, the thumbs up was a good sign. That's all I wanted to see from the two of you. I see a smile on her face, which is much better than the other day. So, or the last time we discussed this. So, as long as that's going right, I'm happy. We had a very successful food drive this weekend. I let every single car know that went through that we were doing the food drive the first Saturday of every month going forward. I can't keep going door to door to door to door, putting out flyers for every single event. So letting them know, we'll find some other way through digital media. We have an assistant. I have an assistant now to help me out, and Joy's still helping work with us, and she's going to get her trained up on getting these out. So we got some progress right there, but it was a very good food drive. We also let everyone know about our community farm coming in to volunteer on Saturdays from 9 to 1. It's always open. You can come in and get some fresh produce. So again, 100% organic, non-GMO, non-hybrid, raised right here locally. We're trying to get some more fruit trees and stuff out there. I don't have anything else for the day, so we'll move on to announcements. Everyone's favorite part, 16-1, Election Day will be Tuesday, March 14th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The polls will be right here in Town Hall and one across the street at the Town Park. We got a special magistrate hearing Wednesday, March 15th, 2023 at 9 a.m. We have a workshop commission meeting Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023 at 6 p.m. A swearing-in ceremony for the newly elected Wednesday, April 21st, 2023 at 6 p.m. with the regular commission meeting to follow Wednesday, April 12th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Everyone's favorite part, adjournment. Time is now 7:55. Motion to adjourn? Sure. I see it right here.